Welcome to That Didn't work.
That didn't work.
Welcome to Urban Stars. I'm your GM and your host, Percy.
And I'm Mike, and I'm playing a Nemoidian by the name of Udel Ilvi.
I'm Daniel. I'm playing a human by the name of Kaltane.
Howdy, I'm Rick, and I'll be playing a Verpine named K'Click.
And I'm Jason, playing a human named Luika, also known as Zerial Benassi Denduptaniel.
Welcome back once again to Urban Stars. When last you saw our intrepid crew, they were deep in the midst of a mass battle. K'Click's family, a whole bunch of Verpine came through and conquered the skies, really. I think we're basically going to say that one's done. There are 2 TIE fighters versus 10 fully trained Verpine fighter pilots.
Even if there was only one Verpine.
Even if there was only one Verpine, which there was at first.
Yes.
I think we're going to say that one's successfully done. You've mitigated the skies, so that's one down out of 3. You guys need to finish one more in order to finish the mass battle. The other 2 objectives are, in some way, subdue Moff Taniel or subdue Empirico. One of the 2. Or both. That'd be fine too. I think that's probably the most desired, but I think the tide decisively shifts when another one of those happens. Meanwhile, Igor had fallen on top of Empirico and started a robot brawl with him.
Rock'em sock'em robots.
Which was very cool.
In midair.
Interface.
Yeah.
He's just flying down. Igor coming to interface.
Everyone just starts running as soon as they hear that. You just see everyone scattering. Run!
Open wide.
He's wearing a dress as he's falling down. He's got that sunflower dress that we were talking about.
Does he still have the smiley face?
Queen Igor. Googly eyes.
Queen Igor. Why do you...
I land like straddling.
I love that you've determined that he's queen.
I determined he was queen.
He said that he wanted to be the guy who controlled all the robots. So I was like, yeah, he's the queen of the robots.
Even though that didn't get to happen, but now I'm just the queen of...
You're just queen.
I'm the queen of me, yeah.
You do have a power cell that you can generate a whole bunch of little minions from.
So, that is true.
It'll happen one day.
Mini-me.
Meanwhile, Dantoon turned on the security systems for Lula Lang and found a broken and bloodied Lugnug, who he did not recognize as Lugnug because he doesn't know who Lugnug is. What?
So at least I didn't electrocute him.
At least we didn't electrocute him. That would have been really funny because it wouldn't have taken much. Udel was kind of helping K'Click along. I think you have other plans as you go forward, I believe.
Oh, yes.
And Lukia is now confronting Moff Taniel. And that's where we'll open up. Let's continue that scene. So you just threatened him, saying, it's over. What do you think is over? Me? The Empire? What power do you think you have? You
Father.
could kill me now, and nothing about this world would change.
While that may be true, you and I both know that this is just the beginning. It takes a spark to see through a revolution. I've already lived through one on Onderon. You weren't even there to see it when we had to fight back against...
And how did Onderon end up?
Well, safely free for a while.
For a while.
And then your overreaching rule, your power games, whatever you want to call them. This has to stop. This has to end.
I think you overestimate who it is that I am. If this galaxy were a game of sabacc, the Emperor holds the winning hand. Always. If you were to place your bet on this race, the Emperor is who you should place that bet upon.
Well, he's not been dealt into this hand.
You're still a foolish child. I am his hand. All the Moffs are his hand. The Empire is his hand.
Well, I'm about to cut his deck in half.
Dang. I think roll a coercion. Let's intimidate a little bit. Or is intimidate its own skill? I don't. This game. Has
No,
too
it's
many skills.
coercion.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought.
Against it, what?
Against his 4 red. Do you want to upgrade?
There's really no shot here.
Just,
but I do.
never
But I do
know.
have a sword at his back.
Yeah, you do. So take some boosts. I think take at least 1 boost, maybe 2.
I think
Go
the
take
question
2.
is, do you want to upgrade?
I don't think so. I've already got 4 red on it.
I know, but that's a 5th opportunity for despair here.
It would just be a purple.
I'll upgrade.
Okay.
Is that a force die?
Keep it on the table, my man.
Well, guess what? It's successful.
Well, we don't know what that
Yeah,
last
we don't
die
know what
was.
That last die was a positive die, and I'm
Okay.
already successful.
Gotcha. Okay.
There was the yellow that fell under.
I'm just gonna roll a yellow because that's what's.
Yeah. Don't worry about it, Daniel. We'll get it. We'll get it.
Gone.
later.
It's just a success.
It's just so you intimidate him quite a bit. He knows that you're not playing around. And what would this achieve? He kind of flinches.
At least a truce on this planet. The people won't have to cower in fear of your oppressive thumb here.
Please. Zero. I am a kindness to Taris. The alternative is a smoldering. If I am not here, someone more harsh
Explain
will
that
take
to my mother.
place.
Explain that to my former master. Explain that to everyone else who I've lost along the way on this crusade of yours. All the friends, all the people. I'm here right now, sword at your back, and I've found you lacking. Call it off. It's
Call-
over.
Call what off?
Call off the troops.
I'm not in control.
Well then,
I'm locked away in a chamber with no communications. I have no... It's been taken from me. My fleet is gone. The smoldering is already coming.
then what am I doing here with you?
Perhaps airing old grievances.
Perhaps I'm
Maybe-
finally standing up to what I needed to stand up to years ago.
Maybe. Do you remember the Count? He came by. He was like your Jedi friends. Do you remember the lessons that he taught? I always envied those who could use the Force. I didn't believe that I was capable, but this planet, Zerial, it has so much to teach us. Keep stupid microphone with my hat. Keep headbutting it. This planet has so much to teach us. This is over. We have mere weeks before this planet is once again in rubble. Perhaps you and I could collect some of these things and bring them to the Empire for a pardon.
The sword point kind of drops from his back. She's just in utter disbelief of what he's saying. It doesn't make any sense. That loss in composure maybe gives him an opportunity, I don't know, but eventually I'll kind of put the sword back up to his back. But
yeah, I think he doesn't even move.
What are you saying? Are you saying is the home I've known for the last few years
Dust. As are all things that do not serve the Emperor.
I don't want to believe that. I can't believe that. I've already seen too many things turn to dust. It stops here. It stops now.
I wish it could be true.
Someone will make it true.
Who?
It may not be.
Igor.
Igor. Igor will make
I will
it true.
defend this planet.
Screen wipes just to Igor fighting. In a dress and googly eye.
He's got a hydraulic fist.
He puts some of those little glasses with the spring eyeballs on, you know.
They fast forward like 20 years and they're like telling their kids the story of the lone protector who wanders the countryside and waits for the Empire's return.
She wanders.
And if you're not,
blowing in the wind.
if you're not careful, he will interface with you.
Anyway.
I leave here in 1 week. A man on the run from the Emperor that he served. You could come with me. I know you're used to living on the edge. Perhaps there are things you could teach me.
If you learn nothing from my mother's death, then there's nothing I can't already teach you. You, like her, are now just a part of my past.
Do you do anything?
I can't kill him in cold blood. Like, now that I'm confronting him, it's just I'm waiting for him to make a maneuver, like do anything, because Luika can't.
Yeah. I think there are some options for you. Of course, you can try to kind of capture him, imprison him in some way, and kind of put him before the rest of Taris, and hope for the best. You can take his transportation so that he can't leave Taris, so that he'll be condemned with this place. There are possibly other options that I haven't thought of. Those are kind of the things most readily on my mind of things you could do. You could also just kill him. I think he just is definitely in you could try to roll like perception to see if he is being genuine. I think you would find for the most part he is.
Then I won't worry about that.
Yeah, I think he's being sincere about his standing with the Empire, but there's also a level of it that is self-preservation, that is like, Luika can kill me. She will if I say the wrong thing, so I'm going to try to bring her over to my side.
Alright. Then maybe a discipline here,
Okay?
just to see, I guess, the most apt response, because honestly, yeah, I think it's one of those situations where 2 red, 2 purple, right?
Yeah. And what do you think the two kind of choices that she's wrestling with are?
Either, take him in, like, try to arrest him, so to speak, and bring him before Taris, like, get him up to the comms, because the Star Destroyer isn't, like, completely destroyed. There's got to be a way to, it's got enough power, probably, still to broadcast to the entire planet, like...
Yeah.
We got a whole squad of Verpine here. We'll have it up and running in no time.
But you get what I'm saying, like, there would be a way for, even, like, on a HoloNet to broadcast, like, something out.
Yeah.
Using the Star Destroyer.
Rick, I believe you mean that's 14 separate walls that are going to fall down.
It's not our fault.
The other option is...
That's the Verpine slogan.
The other option is I just turn around and walk out on him.
We could put Humpty Dumpty back together.
Okay.
Leave him to his own devices.
Which one is the positive one?
The positive one is I bring him before the rest of Taris.
Okay.
Because I think that is the most positive outcome, both for me. It provides closure and everything, and it achieves one of the objectives. The other one is I just walk away from him.
Okay. Do you want to upgrade?
No.
3 points? I think I will. So it'd be 3 red. How bad is it?
It's a triumph. But I'm not successful.
So I think with your failure being that you walk out on him.
Could he have peace with that?
What do you think your triumph should be? I have an idea of what I think it could be, but...
I'll let you run with it, because it was a discipline.
Yeah.
And
I think
it's on the negative side, so I'm walking away from it, so... It's just literally the triumph and a single fail. So
yeah, I think you walk away from it, and he spouts up before you make it out of the door. Lukia, you have a sister. Try not to leave her alone.
I turn back around slowly and sheath the sword. Where?
Underrun. She's been raised in the castle.
I think back to my time and all of that, and I just turn around, slam the button on the door, kind of maybe temporarily locking him in, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hard enough that something's going to break. Probably a few bones in my hand too.
Okay.
And just make for the hangar bay where I kind of ditch the ship and just take off.
Sure. Well, I think your ship has no fuel.
No, not my ship.
But his personal ship
Yeah.
is in there and available.
Yeah.
All right. Let's shift over to Igor and Empirico. And I think the mass combat is still going on around you, but I want to focus more on the individual scenes for the rest of this episode, I think. So let's move over to Igor and Empirico, and I think Dantoon, you can be in this scene as well.
Jump on my back.
Like a rocket raccoon.
Yes, let's do it.
I mean, regardless, I have to make a discipline check because I can't do anything without it.
All right. Igor, what do you do? You're kind of face to face with this big blue
We're not like tangled up anymore.
No, you kind of landed on him. Y'all tumbled around, punching for a minute, and then you separated and are now kind of staring down.
Short range. We're engaged.
Short range.
Okay.
I think you're a little bit shorter than he is, which is not something you expected from like a person.
Mm-hmm.
I think where you probably stand, what did you say, 7 foot tall?
About 7.5. Yeah.
7.5. I think he's standing more like the 9 to 10.
Oh my.
So
It's
he's
power
in a,
armor.
He's in a big suit of power armor.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like in Iron Man, the big.
Yeah. Very much so.
Just without even thinking, I'm going to open fire.
Okay, great. You just like stare him down for a minute, and he like starts to monologue, and you just chain gun him.
He's like, "You think you can defeat me?
You think you could
Sounds
defeat me?
good.
Maybe.
So
We'll see how this continues.
auto fire.
And where's your
How's this gonna
interface?
work? So it's short range.
Mhm.
So that's 1 purple.
Yep.
And then if I auto fire,
It adds another purple.
okay. And I get a boost. I'm pretty sure from somewhere. Oh yeah, my yeah, I get a boost from my site. You want to upgrade?
No, you choose to upgrade first.
What is barrage?
No.
You don't want to?
No.
I don't want to either.
Okay. Now 2 of my yellows blanked. But that is going to be 4 success with 2 advantage.
Which is enough to proc auto fire once.
Alright.
Alright, so how much damage does your chain gun do initially?
So its basic damage is 10, and I have 3 ranks of barrage, so that's 13.
Plus, you got 4 successes?
Yes.
So 17.
And, yeah,
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay, so 17 damage twice.
Mm-hmm.
34.
Alright, you open into Empirico, and you see initially like a lot of the bullets are bouncing off, but eventually you see some that kind of penetrate through the armor, and it makes him take a couple of steps back, and he reaches over and touches one of these holes. Are these lasers or are they shells?
They're lasers.
Okay.
It's a heavy blaster rifle.
Okay, cool. So he reaches over to one of the holes that are left and says, in a very robotic voice that I can't produce with human lungs and vocal cords.
Cue Daniel.
Igor. It's the same voice.
I don't want to do the Will Robinson voice.
Danger, Roman.
Can, as soon as I fire, or as soon as I'm done firing, look at him and say, "Submit to your queen."
You can say whatever you want.
That's what I'm going to say.
Just don't ask him if he knows the way.
Submit to interfacing.
These I think will be
interface.
these I think will be very interesting. And he is going to charge back at you. Do you have any defenses?
I have 2 ranged.
Okay. He definitely has this too. And I'm going to say he aims.
Sure.
He's going to auto fire at you.
Okay.
You see shoulder rockets pop up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to upgrade his check? The difficulty?
Sure.
He's auto-firing shoulder rockets.
He's auto firing shoulder rockets. I'm going to upgrade as well. Might as well, right?
Yeah. Let's just get as many dice as we can in there.
What's your sub?
Let's make it fun. 11.
Have fun.
That almost could not have been a better roll for him.
It's 1 success.
Right, just tons of advantage.
Yeah.
Shoulder rockets have a base damage of 8.
Mm-hmm.
So with 1 success, that damage goes up to 9. Auto fire proccing twice.
But my soak applies separately to each.
It does.
So I don't think I take
You
any
take
damage.
9 damage 3 times,
But that's no damage.
which is nothing to you.
Oh, sorry.
Wow! Rip headphone users.
Imagining all the rockets just went down, the smoke's clearing, and all now is Igor's like dress is ripped, and one of the googly eyes fell off, and he's just like now he's angry.
Enraged mode.
Ooh, thank you, Rick.
I know. I'm sorry.
That wakes up everybody.
I don't have to get close. Well, that'll get.
Didn't really bother us. I mean,
Yeah, that's why I took off.
Yeah, so you get pelted by these shoulder rockets, and they are just absolutely nothing to you.
not even close.
Yeah.
Well, kinda
That
close,
tickles.
Okay. Dantoon, what do you do? You're
Can
in
I
the scene as
do
well.
a discipline check to try to get some strain back?
You can.
Alright. Is there a difficulty or just straight up roll?
Straight roll.
Alright.
Successes will give you discipline. You will give you strain back.
Okay,
Successes will give you discipline. Yes, yes, they will.
Oh, hey, so I get 4, wait, you said successes or advantages for strain?
Successes.
Okay, well, no.
Got a bunch of advantages?
Yep, I got 4
You're
advantages.
going to give yourself like an upgrade or pass one on.
Who goes after me?
He manages to jump on my back.
The only other person in your scene is going to be Igor.
I can't, though. I can't. I need to, before I can do that, I need to get some strain back.
You can use me as like a lightning rod.
I can just give you 2 boosts. Or I can give you, how many boosts? It's
No,
one,
just an upgrade.
One for each. Yeah, you can give him 4 boosts.
I can give him 4 boosts. I can give you 4 boosts in your next roll.
Sure.
Alright.
How did you do that with discipline?
You can do it!
He was talking to himself, but Igor misunderstood.
On the comms you can hear he's just like, it's okay, there's a lot of explosions happening around you, but you're gonna make it through this. Come on, you can do it. He's not that big of a guy.
And just then all the little pinks happen, and it's like, Igor, I got this.
Yep, so that's
Awesome. Igor, it'll be your turn up again.
Alright, we'll fire another volley. So that's gonna be 2 purples to auto fire, and then I need another blue dice.
You got 4.
Yeah, and I have one from my sight. So
You gonna aim?
you could aim and just
You
get
could
an extra
aim?
boost.
sure, let's get an extra boost.
Good gosh, man.
All right.
And you're auto firing?
Wait, you haven't
Yeah.
moved. You could aim twice, right?
Well, you can take 2 strain to aim.
No, we don't need to do that.
Well, you got plenty of strain.
Yeah.
Buddy.
So you're
Just-
auto-firing,
yeah.
right?
Just roll it. Just
Let's do it.
He's got to upgrade his difficulty to auto-fire.
You already did.
Here,
Yeah, I
dude.
did.
He's got
Did he?
2 purples.
Yeah,
in
because
there.
it's one regular. We had short range.
Yeah, he's only got 7 up, 7 boost die and 5
We're
yellows.
trying to end this fight.
I don't think I'm going to upgrade. Would you like to upgrade?
Yeah, I would. I would like to make you run out of ammunition.
I have spare
can't.
clips, so...
Oh, dang!
dunk!
Oh, that red was a blank, and then you roll that die into it.
That's fine.
Doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Well, it might matter as far as whether he.
Auto fire.
Auto
I'm still going to
fires.
auto fire. It depends on how many times I auto fire. Take that out. So that's 7 success with 5 advantage.
Just 2 auto fires.
Yeah.
So 17 damage twice. 3 times?
You got
3
barrage
times.
as well,
10,
right?
so 17 plus 3, so that's going to be
20.
Does
20
barrage
damage.
work with all of them?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So that's
Yeah.
going to be
Are
20
you
damage.
sure it's not once per session? Or once per scene?
I didn't say that. I don't think.
No, yeah.
What
This
does it
is
say?
every time you do damage.
Good gosh.
Heavy gunners are. no
Heavies
joke.
are nasty.
That's bananas.
So yeah,
So
that's
you
gonna
do
be,
20
20
damage
damage
3
3
times.
Yeah.
So here's how this scene
I just want him to damage me. Honestly, I want like
I just want to feel something.
I want to be like nervous for once. I feel like my life's in danger.
So
That rush.
you land on Empirico. You guys tumble to the ground. You separate. Empirico starts to monologue. You fill him full of holes. And then he's like, fine. Shoulder rockets does nothing. Scratches your paint, maybe. Dantoon is hyping himself up, which even hypes you up.
Dantoon's the hype man.
My buddy believes in me.
Enough to like almost double my damage.
Yes, and
Magically.
it literally tripled your damage, actually. And then you whir your gun back up and fill him full of many, many holes, rendering his armor entirely inoperable. And he falls to the ground. You don't know if he's dead or not because his mask is still on, but he's dead. Very scarily dead.
Can I take a part of his armor and attach it to mine as a trophy? Like I don't like it doesn't even be functional. Like I don't even need it like as a boost to my armor.
Take off his shoulder plate and wear it as a cup.
Can I take off his helmet and wear it as a cup? Just can I just?
No, you can't do that. All right. Well, you have successfully thwarted Empirico. I think this battle successfully has been slung over to one side. When all of Empirico's people see you not take any damage from his shoulder rockets, they are already scared, and then you wipe him to the mat.
I turn to all of them and say, "Bow to Queen Igor, bow."
And they do.
Just Robert Baratheon style. Bow, you shits.
We finally got a cuss word.
That's the third. That's the third.
The third cuss word? Okay.
Yeah.
We're growing up,
I won't go
guys.
in though. It's fine. That'll be cut out. It's fine.
All right. Yeah, you finish this off for sure. K'Click and Udel, what do you guys do?
Nothing now.
Igor's like one punch man.
One, I got to figure out what other powers. Does Dark Shadow have tractor beams?
I would say no.
No?
Yeah, I don't think it has tractor beams.
Okay.
It doesn't really have room to like latch onto or store another ship.
Right, but it could have it for other things, moving asteroids or stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So I would ask her, what else can you do?
Ask me next week
That's what I was wondering about.
because I have no idea.
Yeah, I know. Because at this point, I'm going to let my brothers. I was thinking about somehow trying to interact with the mass battle by bringing a. That's why I was wondering about tractor beams, about bringing a wall down or something. I'm serious.
As this campaign started,
Exactly.
he's going to end it the same way it started by bringing the wall down.
on some of the Imperial troops.
Sure. Well, you can do something like that. It has something that can do that.
Okay, some sort of pulse beam or
Why not? It has tractor cannons.
Okay, all right.
Why would I say no to that?
It has tractor cannons.
Cannon, beam, tractor beam.
Tractor beams.
Tractor cannons.
Okay, I'm
Fire
going
tractor cannons.
out.
That's what I was like. Tractor cannons? What the hell?
Sorry, the tractor cannon is a shotgun in the video game Destiny 2 that pushes things around.
Okay, so it has tractor cannons.
Sure, it's got tractor cannons. It's the tractor beam could have done push and pull.
Yeah.
Tractor cannon with push only, baby.
I'm going to put Dark Shadow. We need to bring that wall down on those Imperial troops. Can we do that?
Of course.
Let's go.
These are my troops now, though. They've submitted to me. This is my army now.
Those were Empirica's boys.
Yeah, Empirica's boys are my guys.
That's not the Imperial troops. That's who he's bringing the wall down on.
Okay, so I start the campaign by bringing a wall down. We're going to try to finish the campaign by bringing a wall down.
Oh, the campaign's not over, guys.
No, I understand. Okay, so do I need to roll anything?
Yeah, roll a gunnery check.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. It's based on agility. You'll be fine.
Oh, okay. Well, at least I'll have that. And what is the difficulty?
Difficulty is going to be 3 purple.
Dun, dun, dun. And I will boost it.
Sure, you can do that.
That's what
Add the other purple back.
For those on the podcast, Rick just grabbed a
red
negative
die.
die,
No, it's
a
only
red
3.
die to do this.
It's only 3 purple.
No, yeah. You took some purple out and replaced it with the rest.
No, he threw one green out and added a red.
All right. When I want to bring a wall down, I can't.
Just lean on it.
He's no Ronald Reagan.
two advantage.
All right. I think you do bring the wall down.
Well, that's what I'm good at.
It doesn't land on the Imperial troops, though. Your advantage is that it also doesn't land on rebel civilians.
Does it interfere with the troops, even though it doesn't land on
Yeah,
them?
it can get in
gets
their way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I like that.
Basically, you're ending the fighting. You put a wall between them.
Yeah, literally.
And then
So instead of Reagan, you're Gorbachev.
That's right. I'm building a wall.
And then we have my troops, my new army, encircle them and force them to surrender and bow to.
I don't think you actually have an army.
They follow me or die.
No.
This is how this works now.
He believes he has an army.
Can I make some sort of check?
It's called leadership.
Can I make a leadership check? Because that would be actually really good. Because this is literally my leadership role.
I'm not going to let you murder hobo people who don't follow you. No, you can't make that check.
But no, that's not what I'm
I'm
going
going
to
to
do.
nip that in the bud.
But all the troops in this arena, both sides that are watching me, can I make a leadership roll? This is my role. It'll be very unlikely, but if it does, that would be the best thing ever. To see if they will now follow me.
You can make a daunting check to
Alright.
get all these people to follow you.
4 purple?
A droid.
Roll
Yes.
forth an interface.
You're going to be very upset if he's successful.
If he does succeed,
He was successful. No, he wasn't.
No, it wasn't,
Oh,
but
it was very
It
close.
washed. That was so good. That would've been
He rolled 4 purple.
You got to give me something for that. I mean,
yeah,
No,
you
he doesn't.
failed. If you had succeeded, the campaign would have ended tonight.
Let the interfacing begin.
Interfacing.
Yeah.
It's a new word.
It's his version of the
Oh
apocalypse.
gosh. All right. So, yeah, you guys can complete the fighting. This combat is over, and eventually you also stumble into the Star Destroyer as you guys are rounding up the rest of the Imperial forces to mostly imprison them. Those that still resist, you guys are gunning down because it's just a necessary thing at this point. And you do come onto the Star Destroyer and you find Taniel sitting in that secretive room. K'Click, you're able to find him because it's the same room that Callist was held in.
Okay.
So you knew it was there.
Okay. I'd probably go there looking to see what other Rakatan artifacts. Would any of my Verpine brothers or would they still be flying around?
I think some are patrolling, some have landed to try to help with whatever they can. I don't think they would be with you, though. If anything, Callist might be with you.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Callist, we need to We need to go up to the...
So you're already here.
We need to... Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I believe there's Rakatan technology here. So we will go to the room and... why is this button damaged and jammed? So I'll try to fix the...
Okay. Roll mechanics.
How hard?
I don't know, Lukia, how hard did you hit that button? What's your brawn?
Let me actually roll this.
Yeah, why don't you guys just roll opposing checks? No difficulties. Just roll your positive dice.
Two and 3.
4 success and 2 advantage.
All right.
All right. So you are able to open it.
Okay. Oh. Who are you?
You would recognize him.
Oh, would I?
Yeah.
Okay.
His name is like plastered over everything. And
Okay, his picture, follow me, join
Well,
me.
he would have been...
I want you.
Well, a Moff would have been a well-known public figure, so...
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
I'll immediately pull my stun baton on that one.
Okay.
Once that door opens and I see who's in there.
What are you doing here?
Is it over?
It depends on what you mean, over.
It's over for you.
Have I lost?
You see us standing here, don't you?
He's actually not looking at you. He hasn't turned around.
Lost what?
This battle. This
The-
planet. My life.
Well, the planet is still
I
here.
can't decide on an accident to this guy. I've shifted to like 7 different ones through the night.
Hey, don't worry. it's
yes,
okay.
you have lost to Queen Igor. Submit.
Well, Empirico is dead. The Imperial forces are being routed. I brought down a wall. The TIE fighters are gone. The Verpine control the skies. So, yes, I believe so.
He just had to rub it in his face. He's just like, here's all the things we did correct.
It's a logical
Here's
checklist.
the incredible
you know?
amount of luck we had that somehow destroyed your army.
Our droid almost took over all your forces. Was this close?
It will not be enough.
Why do you say that?
When the Empire returns, Taris will be reduced to ash and rubble once again.
Why would they reduce it to ash and rubble?
Because it doesn't serve the Emperor. These relics are meaningless. They have no power, and the people here are petulant, repulsive, and resist us. Or so it says in the reports.
I see. They are good people, just wanting to live a regular life.
And if they had served the Emperor, perhaps they would be allowed to live.
But if you were worth serving, the Emperor was not worth serving. You were not worth serving. You did not have anything but your own self-interest at heart.
So I've been told.
By wise people. So what are we to do with you now? Should we turn you over?
You can kill me if you'd like.
Udel, what do you think? I do not know of these matters.
I say we make him suffer like he made the people suffer. And at that, I'm going to use influence and cause him fear.
Am I here?
I think you're probably still trying to gain the attention of your
Follow
listeners.
me!
Because if I was here, I was going to make a discipline check to not shoot him when he told me to shoot him. But
Alright, go for the influence check there, Udel.
So, because I am trying to legitimately give him fear, it's discipline versus discipline first.
Okay.
So, what's his... It's a opposed check.
Yeah, his discipline is 4 red.
I know, but it's... Well, is it opposed or...
It's your discipline versus his discipline,
Yep.
so his discipline is your negative.
So...
Can we borrow those 2 red dice, Rick?
Let me see... 2... 4...
I like the idea that, like, I tried to
I'd
get
like
them
to
on
upgrade.
my side.
I would like to upgrade.
And it didn't work, and now they're, like, all starting to, like, slowly, like, walk away and, like, go home, and I'm just sitting here, guys, come on!
This is a fun dice
Follow
roll.
me!
Or it's you think that they're going out. You're just giving command.
You're like, oh yes, go home! That's
You got
follow
one
my
dark
orders.
side
Good
point.
job. I'm, like, trying to make up as they disobey me.
Goes away.
Yes, you continue what you're doing.
Yes, very good work on that. It's just that the guy is dead on the ground.
That becomes 1.
Stay
so
away.
away.
It's empirical.
So I have a success, an advantage, and I have 2 light side and 1 dark side.
Wow. Okay. What can you do with all those force pips?
Well, basically he is going to take, let me see here. That's not that one. So I'm forcing him to adopt a state of complete fear
Okay.
of us.
Fear of insects?
So how do you think that I don't think like he starts crying and groveling, but how do you think that is portrayed in a person of power like this?
I think he starts begging for his life.
Okay.
It's the
Yeah.
feeling of lack of complete control, which is usually the opposite of where somebody's at.
Yeah, I think he offers in his new state of fear. He says, "I don't. The Empire is coming. There's nothing that I can do to stop them, but I don't want to die. I can help you. I know the ins and outs of their tactics, and please, just, I don't want them to kill me. I don't want you to kill me. I just want to finish a long life here on Taris. And I know that I don't have the right to ask that, but I can help you to avoid the Empire's retribution on Taris."
Can you undo the damage that you have done?
I don't know.
Are you willing to try?
I think he'll tell us anything at this point.
I'm willing to live.
You think so?
What all have you taken from this planet?
Hundreds of artifacts
And they're where?
on Coruscant.
And you have none left?
I have these broken bits and pieces, things that we weren't able to have Callist look over.
Callist, is this true? And is there anything left here that you see that could be of use?
I do not know based on looking, and I don't remember much of my time here.
That was a sad state for you.
Well, more angry, but yes.
Yes.
We need to take him before leadership, and I'll immediately just whack him with the stun baton.
Okay. I'll narratively say he just goes out.
It's probably strained out anyway. You definitely have a way with things, Udel.
And by leadership, you mean Queen Igor, right?
Take him before Queen Igor.
We need to take him to the Queen, guys. Come on.
Just tired of the Empire oppressing everyone.
I understand. I understand. I wonder if we can get this Star Destroyer operational, and if we can use it.
I leave that to you, and I'll get on the comms and start trying to find
Yeah.
what leadership's left.
You would know that the problem is not getting it to work, but getting it off the ground. It's much like a giant ship now. Like where you kind of build it on land and then you have to push it into the water. There has to be some kind of mechanism to lift it initially to get it to elevate from the ground. Its thrusters don't have the ability to push it from, like, it weighs so much that there's no amount of force from, like, thruster firepower that could lift it into space.
Except we have a Rakatan energy source.
You're not wrong, but no.
That would break the physics
So,
of it too,
well,
honestly.
we've done plenty to do that already. I'm no stranger to that.
We can let Igor interface all he wants while he's building a ladder underneath it all the way up to orbit.
It's gonna pan back to Dantoon and Igor, and Dantoon's like scribbling something on a cloth, and then he lifts it up. It's a stick, and it's a flag that has Igor on it. And we claim this territory for Queen Igor, and we're starting our own faction.
Good God.
And we're going to try and use the battery to create a little army of mini robots.
There we go.
All right, so
And it's gone to nonsense.
I know.
That's not nonsense.
so
It's our characters.
here's the question that I have for you guys, and we'll ask this on air intentionally, and that is, this is a good place to end a season of a campaign like this. There's a lot of unanswered questions. And I don't think they would get answered in the next 10 episodes, which is kind of how long we planned initially to go. What do you guys think about either ending here and saving these characters for a season 2? Or do you want to try to wrap up some stuff in like one last arc that's like a fast forward 7 or so years?
I like leaving it as season 1 right now.
So a 7-year jump would be a lot, especially if the Empire's coming back.
Well, that was my initial intention, was to do that. Like, now that you have Taniel, like, that makes sense that you guys were able to subjugate that for a little bit. Because the Empire's not going to send that much firepower to an outer rim planet with no resources. Mid-rim, whatever. With no real resources to speak of, and it's a dying world anyway.
On top of the fact that they're in the middle of basically just starting construction of the Death Star, there's a lot of other politics in play.
Exactly. So I'm not too worried about that part of it.
It might be interesting to have the 7-year jump for prepare defenses and stuff like that, because we know it's coming. So it could be something fun to play out.
Yeah.
Well, in 7 years, so much could happen.
All right.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We could be somewhere else.
since we're on air and we're asking this question, are we talking about ending the season here and wrapping this campaign and moving into the
Yeah.
future campaign?
Yeah.
The Age of Rebellion campaign?
Hmm. And then this can pick up anytime beyond this for like a season 2.
And from a recording standpoint, that's at least a month and a half away with the episodes we've got, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so this is episode, I think, 36. And we just released 28 last Friday. So we've got 8 episodes in the backlog. That covers us through May.
Okay.
Which we won't have this part of the conversation on the episode.
Right.
I just need to know, like,
It makes sense to call it a season.
it does. And I think in 7 years, a lot of things can happen with Udel's cybernetic implants, and
We'd go back
And
to
my
Ricotta
battery.
Prime.
we'd
for
go
sure.
back to Ricotta Prime for sure. We would maybe
The
join
Verpine
the
would
actual
go.
resistance in that time.
And, yeah, I'm okay with that.
That'll give you time to
Cool,
build.
cool. I didn't necessarily expect to do that tonight, but I think it makes sense with the way things happen. So I'm going to slip back in and do kind of some wrap up of just kind of some exit scenes, and then we'll call it an episode.
All right, don't forget I crossed a new line there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you told me
Oh yeah,
earlier.
you did. I was going to wait
And-
until the 10. You've been getting a lot of stuff.
And the shuttle got to be called the Tidarian.
Why?
How else do the rebels get it?
Get what?
The
Which
shuttle
shuttle?
Tidarian in Return of the Jedi. The Lambda class shuttle. And it was an old call sign, an old ship.
Sure. I don't know that it was the one that you have.
There'd be too many years passed for it still to have an active clearance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like where he's going with that.
Yeah, I like the callback. So, K'Click,
Yes.
the other Verpine are here now, and I think that initially their desires for you to come back to the Roche asteroid field to share some of the knowledge that you've gained while on Taris, as well as some of the things that you learned at Ricotta Prime. I think the decision that you have to make is what do you do from here? Do you stay on Taris and help them rebuild, or do you and help them defend? And I think for sure these Verpine will stay and help defend when the Empire comes back right now. But I think also they want you to come and check in with the Queen.
He would definitely do that. He would go back, but he would have a strong desire to come back here and rebuild the wall. And he would want to go to Ricotta Prime to get what technology with Callist, to try to get what technology, and maybe with the help of Igor and Dantine, to Dantoon, I think, Dantoon, to possibly,
That's your drag queen name.
get some of the technology to come back to perhaps assist, in this endeavor in some way to figure out a way to get this Star Destroyer operational again and back up in the sky to protect the planet.
Okay.
And he's fully confident that the Verpine can figure out a way to get this thing
Sure.
off the ground.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. So you'll kind of be your finishing scene in this season is joining with Callist and Galak and going back to the Roche asteroid field to begin that process and to communicate that to your hive. Igor and Dantoon, you're on a brand new world. Igor, you have conquered probably the strongest person on this planet very quickly and very single-handedly.
And regardless of my leadership fail,
I
the
think
world
people
knows
are
about me now.
people are still enamored with you. They don't think you have the qualities to lead them, but they think you're very, very impressive.
You could be a very, very famous Rock'em Sock'em robot.
I could. Well, so I was kind of having this idea just sitting here, and a legit idea, not a crazy idea. Well, it is crazy, but not a funny idea. Would be that while we're here, because I can't produce anything big with this battery, at least as far as I'm able to right now, but I can produce a lot of very small things very quickly. And so creating essentially surveillance droids and sending them out
I think what you can create right now are things that don't think for themselves. Like you can't program things. You can create tools.
Okay.
But I think that's probably something that like we can create some sort of a skill tree similar to a force power for later that lets you expand that ability.
Okay.
Why don't we just have?
Well, because I was just thinking like for the 7 years, I have 7 years.
So we're not going to skip forward to
Yeah.
This is like we're stopping
Yeah.
here. So what are you doing?
So I'm
in
going to
this
start work on
moment?
producing some sort of defense system, or at least working with.
Okay.
Like I may not be able to build like a
Yeah,
massive
you can
orbital
build
battery,
pieces and tools,
but
and
and
things
I
like
can
that.
help
Like a 3D
expedite-
printer.
Yes, I can help expedite the process of.
Awesome.
Would K'Click be able to? Because I know you're really good with mechanics. I don't know how good your computer skills are, but would K'Click be able to basically overclock him or something like that, or like upgrade his
Mind.
program just to increase his intelligence by 1, so he could start actively thinking about.
Dedication.
Well, that's the cybernetic implant.
Yeah.
It works the same way on
Yeah.
droids as it would on a person.
Yeah, I think not in this cinematic moment.
But
no.
yeah, oh yeah, no, not right now, but.
Wait, you
Yeah.
want him to be more intelligent?
And so, even though I'm not a leader, just during this time, I'm definitely heralded as the
Yeah,
hero of this.
you're definitely a hero.
The end of the first movie, I get my little medal, and
Yeah.
there's the whole celebration.
That's what you ripped
and-
off Empirico.
Yeah. And that whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a glorious day.
He
for
hangs
me,
his
Michael.
crotch plate from his neck.
Bump to a high sheen.
Dantoon, what about you on this new world with Master Thum? I think.
Yeah.
I think he's taken an interesting liking to you.
Yeah, that's where I was kind of going with this too. I think after seeing this is his first experience off of Rakata Prime, and he's seeing war for the first time, and his first reaction was just to start flinging lightning around in a fight that he couldn't really control all that much.
Yeah.
And so he's going to go to Thum in seek of honing his skills and submitting to his teaching.
Okay, I like it. All right, Udel. What about you, bud?
So, I have to ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't close this loop, but Lugnug, did he die from his wounds?
Initially, I was going to say yes, but Dantoon was able to stymie the bleeding. So I think he's alive, but is not
Critical condition.
physically the same. Like he's going to be on a cane for the rest of his life.
Okay. And so I think Udel from this perspective is he doesn't trust this supposed master.
Mm-hmm.
Again, in his mind, he's not done anything to help him.
Right.
So all the help he has received has been from Era. I think is what his name was.
Era, yeah.
Era. So I think he's gonna basically take almost the person who showed him the most support. He's gonna go back with Lugnug and start again trying to learn how to be a leader over this group.
Okay, cool. And I think I'm going to add to that. So you do begin training with Lugnug, but at some point in that journey, you ask for one of the pilots on planet, probably not K'Click, because you don't want him to know too much. You feel led to go back to the Rogue Moon.
Okay.
And you have them take you there, and you wander around the Rogue Moon for a little bit until you stumble into a room similar to the one on Rakata Prime, where you make contact with Era. Not like we won't play that out, but it's kind of like you kind of enter that room and lights begin turning on and a hologram of him pops up on the platform and you guys begin having conversations.
Okay.
Just to kind of end mine more cinematically than
Yeah.
Igor did good.
I like Igor did good.
Yes. But just to give it a more of an actual, this is what happened. In the kind of couple days that followed of us, rebuilding and starting to clear out the rubble, I find some sort of abandoned workshop or something, and kind of start pulling off the sheaths and stuff, and the sheets covering everything. Turn on the lights, and I find all these old blueprints and plans for all sorts of advanced weaponry.
Yeah.
And I kind of lock myself in here for the next however long, and work on
Trying to figure them out with your one
I
intelligence.
know. I was going to say,
and working on my
stare at
intelligence.
them.
And so, because
Okay.
I think that after this, I could probably get my dedication
Yeah.
in, so that could be the narratively how my
sure.
intelligence increases.
I did also want to add one thing that would
Igor,
be,
turn them over.
one thing that would probably be important to Dan Toon would be that his stipulation to following the Jedi Master and submitting to his teachings would be that they stay on the planet and help, and that he doesn't leave Igor alone stranded on the planet. So like Igor, like it's a package deal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely come as a package deal.
Yep. We have a faction. We got to represent our country.
That's right.
And we're worried about the Empire.
We're our countrymen.
We're the only two, but we are patriotic.
We could start a Knights of the Round Table here.
That's okay. I got Igor covered. We're good.
Knights of the Square Table.
The Infinite Empire is reborn.
Infinite Empire 2.0.
Lukia. I think your beef has never been with the Empire. It was with Taniel specifically.
Yeah. I blame the Empire,
Sure.
kind of by proxy, by co-op, because
That's who your dad worked.
yeah.
Um,
But it was never directly.
I think for you to get back onto Onderon and be able to kind of resume life there, you've got to... It's still a planet that's owned and completely subjugated to the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've got to trade something, whether it's an artifact that you maybe kept from Rakata, or information about where Rakata is, whatever that might be. Like, you've got to do something to...
Oh no, I'm not going to ingratiate myself into the normal
Okay.
hubbub.
Okay.
Even
so
though
what-
because
where
I want
do
that
you-
I want that obligation to stick.
Okay.
Is that I kind of like the Padme situation? Is she more disguises herself as a retainer to the
Okay.
family, like sneaks onto the planet.
So you become, once again, somebody else and begin serving the family.
Mm-hmm. Work my way into that position.
Okay, so... Yeah, I think
With all
you-
the stealth and skullduggery and streetwise, I mean, and
Yeah.
a thief, like, I think that makes more narrative sense for her. So she's a shadow, maybe,
Yeah.
protecting her sister from the background.
So I think you land on Onderon in kind of a grove, and you somehow cover the ship to hide it and conceal it, and then you wander in and begin, and maybe even steal a handmaid's uniform and don that, and you just kind of naturally slip and lie your way into working literally for your technically half-sister, but
Just with the royal family, and eventually I figure out who it is,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, that sort of...
all right. And that's where we will...
One thing, though.
Okay.
K'Click is the only one that knows how to get to Rakata Prime.
Technically, yes,
Because
that's
he
true.
navigated and he encrypted it, the information.
Sure.
So that he would be the only one that would know.
Yeah,
That way
yeah.
it wouldn't fall into anybody else's hands.
Sure.
Okay.
And that is where we will wrap up this season of this campaign, Urban Stars. Thanks, guys, so much for playing it. It's been a lot of fun. This is one of our longer campaigns that we've ever done as a group, and I think it paid off. I think the drama of it was really cool. We had some really interesting moments throughout, and I'm going to be very, very excited to begin writing a new thing for these characters now that I know them a little bit better. I think these characters are very personal, to me anyway. So thank you guys so much for playing. If you are a Star Wars nerd like us and you like listening to our Star Wars stuff. This is not the end of Star Wars. We're going to be starting very, very soon with another Star Wars campaign. This one was based in the Edge of the Empire. The next one is going to be a military campaign based in Age of Rebellion, and Mike is going to be taking over this GM's chair for that.
Hey, Mike.
So I'm really excited for that. I'm ecstatic to play in the world that he's created. I know a few things about it already, and I'm really, really stoked for what he's made for all of us to be able to play in. So check out our other stuff. We've got giveaways going on Patreon right now for a dice tower that works with any dice, even these narrative dice. And you get an entry for every month that you donate, for every dollar of every month that you donate between now and June. So if you're, on the $5 donations, which is all of our bonus content that we put onto Patreon, between now and June, you'll get 15 entries, which I think is pretty cool, and it gives you a pretty good chance to win this thing. But other than that, thanks again.
And June will be a live drawing.
June will be a live drawing during our Call of Cthulhu game. But I really can't stress enough. Thanks so much for everybody who supported this channel in the first 6 months of us producing it. We're recording this basically on the first recording session of our 7th month, and we've just felt an overwhelming response. This was our first show that we started with, and it was rocky in the beginning with some of the audio techniques and us learning how to edit and do all of those things, and it's just been a really cool transition to be going from, hey, we're friends at a table playing games that are only for us, to being able to tell those stories for other people. So tell your friends about us, send our links to people you know, and we'll see you next week with lots of other stuff. And until then, keep on adventuring.
Adios.
Have a good one.